Chapter two, we talked. So chapter two, we talked about media literacy, and media literacy is basically just understanding how media works and understanding how to portray and how to talk about media without any hindrance and any boundaries, like encoding and decoding. Like encoding is basically writing a message with the foreknowledge and the already processed knowledge that you know what you're going to say, and you can hinder it. You can not hinder it. You can do things and say things, and type or write things, and the person you're sending them to will already know what you're talking about. Which is where decoding comes in, which is the ability to understand and process the information that was just given to you. And media literacy is very simple. It's just understanding media, understanding the different types of media, understanding the forms of media that comes with it, the newspaper, magazines, social media, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. But what many people don't realize, and I've experienced in my life, is that every time you go through any media circuit, you're going to find some opinion. Whether the opinion is fact based or the opinion is just something someone made up. For example, we see. For me, I play sports, so when I'm on media or social media and stuff, I'm usually watching some sports stuff. And one of my favorite sportscasters, Shannon Sharp, he has an opinion that I agree with because I'm a sport player. He has an opinion about LeBron that many people don't have. And his opinion about LeBron is that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. However, his opinion is based on fact. Whereas when we see other people who have opinions like that, their opinions are usually based off of personal opinion, nothing they've looked up or researched. Like for me, my personal opinion is that seeing this that in this media, this sports media per se, my opinion would be that LeBron is definitely better than Michael Jordan because of the accolades he has and all the things like that. But what we need to figure out is how we can have sports media, not have sports media, have media literacy, and still have fact. Because if we once we get those two to coincide and to go hand in hand, things become a lot easier. But for now, right now, all we have is media literacy, or we have, or we have opinion or fact. Usually, when people do media literacy, they feel like they need to voice their own opinion, and they feel like that just the facts would not be enough. So when they're voicing their opinion, they don't really talk about the facts. They talk about everything surrounding the facts, everything around every surrounding the facts, and everything that is the outline of what they want to talk about. But because they don't talk about the facts, you don't us because we're so engaged and so desensitized to it. We don't hear that they're only talking about opinion. We only hear that they're talking about. We don't hear that they're not talking about facts. We only hear their opinion, and because we don't know the difference between the two, we take the opinion, not realizing that it's not facts. So when we try to understand media literacy, sorry, when we try to understand media literacy and communication, this is a very important step because if we're not able to take away what the point and what the message is from media, then we're missing the whole point. Which is why, in my life, I feel like that our my life media is such a big and such a giant thing that there's nothing we do will ever separate us from that. And for me, it's just crazy because growing up with technology at our beck and call and being able to do things that many people weren't able to do when they were first introduced to technology, it just shows me that no matter what we do, our lives will always be immersed in technology, and we can never separate ourselves. So instead of me trying to get away from it or do opposite things and not try to understand it, I've taken up the responsibility to, instead of trying to distance myself from any kind of medium, just understand it better. So, for example, instead of trying to ignore people's comments on Twitter and Facebook and stuff and Instagram, instead of ignoring the comments and just be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, try to read through what they're saying and try to understand where they're coming from. That way, if I can understand random people, I'll be able to understand people who I'm closer with, so I can understand their point even better and a more precise and more clear point instead of just jumping to the fact that maybe they don't know what they're talking about or maybe they're wrong. But listen to what they're saying, understand what they're saying, try to find a balance in opinion and truth and be able to focus on that. And that's where I think media literacy comes in play.